Thank you. You can turn this off. Thank you. I want to say, first of all, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be at Grambling State University, number one. And it's an honor to be just here on a college campus. But let me tell you why I have on the black and gold and why Grambling State University is so important to me. This was my first college that I went to. And so it's something that I talk about in the book. And the school that I wanted to go to in Tallahassee, my mom wouldn't let me. So she told me to pick another school. And I did. I picked Grambling State University because I thought that I wanted something different. I wanted a fresh start. I wanted to be away from Miami. And so the same places that you stay in, the same classes that you sit in, I was there. And even before I get started, I want to tell y'all something very funny that happened right here at Grambling, and it's in the book as well. And it's when my mom dropped me off at the freshman dorm, but I heard they knocked the dorm down since then. It was Wheatley Hall. It's still up? It's still up? It doesn't look like real. Okay. So that was the freshman dorm, and my mom, my brother, and one of my aunts dropped me off here at Grambling. I didn't know not one single person, but I knew I could make a change. I knew I could make a difference. So I packed my things and they brought me here to school. Never even been to the school before. And as they pulled up in front of the dorm, we all hopped out. I was so excited. They got out, they made my bed, they fixed my room and everything. And so set my alarm clock. I mean, they did the works for me. And then once they decided to go back downstairs and get in a car, I felt like a lost puppy. It was just starting to sink in that I had never been away from home other than summer camp. And so I started crying. And not a cute cry. You know how sometimes you just go like this a little bit? No, I did one of those ugly cries. One of those, ah! And we were in front of the dorm, and other families were dropping their kids off, their daughters off as well. And so my mom looked at me, and she was like, "What's wrong? You're doing something good." And I said, "No." I said, I can't stay here. I told her, I said, "No, I can't do this." So she gave me this pep talk about me graduating from Grambling and me doing a good job and me becoming something special and me earning my own money and things like that. And I ended up getting back in the car with them. We went and ate, and the second time I was all right. But she told me, she said, "Look at all of these people looking at you." And I told her, "I don't care. I don't know these people." So that's in the book. That's my experience with Grambling. I came when I first graduated from high school in '84. I know I don't look like I'm that old. I'm 40-something, 50-something years old. And this was my first college, so I'm home. I went here from 1984 when I graduated from high school. I stayed here until '86. And I packed my things at the end of the semester, and I went home. I gave away a lot of stuff because I couldn't carry it back in my suitcases and stuff, and put stuff in other friends' bags and stuff. And I had already made up my mind that I wasn't coming back. I was homesick, and I wanted to go to a school closer to home. But I didn't tell my mom. I just packed up all my things. And so when school started back again, she was running around trying to get my things together for me to come back here to Grambling when I had to break the bad news to her that I wasn't coming back. And I hadn't told her, and I didn't know what to say, and I was like, "I'm not going back to school. I don't want to stop going to school, but it's too far." I kept coming home and things like that, and so I ended up going to the University of Miami for a semester, and then I graduated from Florida Memorial University, which is a black college in Miami. Okay, so let me just back up a little bit. That's my Grambling experience. So I want you to think of this And I'm going to talk pretty fast. I'm going to go over a few things, tragedies in my life and things that happened in my life. And I want you to think of this as a conversation. Don't think of this as a lecture. Just think of this as a conversation that I'm having with you all. I need y'all to relax. Y'all still not relaxed. Take off your shoes, take off your wig, take off your bra, whatever you need to take off. You can take it off. We'll put it back on before you leave. I think what happens is a lot of people don't understand how average I am and how regular I am and how real I am. So the same seats, not particularly these seats, but the same area you in, the same seats you sitting in, the same classrooms you visited, so did Trayvon Martin's mom. So I'm no different than you. I'm just a parent. I would never have signed up for what I'm doing now. I would never have asked for what I'm doing now. I would never have groomed myself or applied for this position because I would not have sacrificed my son. But how many of y'all know that, yes, storms will come in your life? Say yes if you understand that storms will come in your life. Nod your head so you understand, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Storms will come in your life. But it's how you deal with those storms that make you a better person or a weaker person. So I really didn't know how strong I was until I went through the tragedy of losing my son. I came from a long line of strong women. My great-grandmother was strong. I was raised with her. My grandmother was strong. I was raised with her. My mother was strong. I'm still being raised by her. So all the women in my family were very strong. They handled their business. They took care of their business regardless of what happened. And so once I graduated from college, I was still back in Miami. I got a good job. First, I got a good job with UPS. That's a good job. And then I got another good job with Miami-Dade County. And I did a couple of things for Miami-Dade County. I was the security console specialist. Then I became a dispatcher. Then I did code enforcement for about 11 years. And then I moved to housing where I was doing Section 8 and public housing. I was a hearing officer in Miami for public housing and Section 8. So those were my jobs that I did. Very good jobs with benefits, and I appreciated everything I had. And those were the jobs that took care of my kids. And so I'm just a regular mom. When I went to work at 8 o'clock, I got off at 5. I was stuck in traffic like everybody else. I would get home from work and my boys would be there from school. And I would complain about them doing their homework and their haircuts and why they didn't take out the garbage. Sound familiar? Average mom. I complained about the same things that your moms complained about. Homework, right? Cutting your hair, the friends you hang around. Sounds familiar? Just nod. So I know that I'm not talking to myself. Yes. These are just some of the things that happens in your life when you got a parent that cares. So I came home, I complained about the same things. Started my dinner, turned the news on, fussed at the kids. First, take the kids some more, watched the news, started cooking dinner. Went on vacation, ready for school to start. Summer programs I had to register them for. Average. Until I got a phone call that said my 17-year-old son had been shot and killed. And many of you don't know what that feels like, and you will never know what it feels like. But just think about your mom, and if your mom had received a call that said you were not coming home for whatever reason, that you had been shot and killed. Just think about how your mom would feel. And so I'm going to ask you a question. How many of you think that the day I got the call from Trayvon's dad, that was the worst day of my life? Hold them high. It was not. The worst day of my life was seeing my son at the front of my church, and as I sat on the front row in a casket in all white, 17 years old, as if he was going to the prom, with a little smirk on his face, a nice haircut. I could remember it like it was yesterday. It was 7 years ago, but I could remember it like it was yesterday. That was by far the worst day of my life. Because before that, I didn't know the impact of gun violence. Because it never touched me so hard and so close and so deep. And sure, I have lost family members in the past. But nothing compares to losing a child that I carried for 9 months, that I had to love, that I had to nurture, that I had to feed. He was a mama's boy, very close to me. Even at 17, he wanted to sleep in my bed. To lose somebody you're just so close to for no reason, because of senseless gun violence. Because somebody looked at my son as if he was suspicious. Because he was wearing a hoodie. How many of you wear hoodies? So why should somebody think you're suspicious? You're not. You're not. And don't believe that. Don't believe just because you wear a hoodie or you have dreadlocks or you have gold teeth or you have tattoos that you look suspicious. I could take off a lot of things right now. I could take off my jacket, my blouse, my pants, my shoes, but I can't remove the color of my skin. And so you have to know we living in a country right now who are judging you by the color of your skin. Merely because your skin color is dark. They're judging you. Not by your education. Not by how much money you have and what car you drive and what house and area you live in, but merely by the color of your skin. So I listened to the media tell me that my son was suspicious because he was wearing a hoodie. And every time I travel, I look in the airport, everybody is wearing a hoodie. The young people, the old people, Spanish people, black, white, young ladies, young men, everybody wears a hoodie. So it wasn't about Trayvon's hoodie. It was about the color of his skin. And so it was hard for me to say that. It was even hard for me to talk to people about me losing my son. But let me just be the first one to tell you that God worked on me. And although people told me how strong I was, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that I was strong. Because my pastor told me, he said, trials and tribulations reveal character, it doesn't build it. So I believe what I was feeling was already there, but I just had not activated how strong I was. I would cry. And you all would not see me when I was crying, because that was nobody's business at that time. I talk about in the book about my purple room that I had, my purple bedroom, and I would be on the floor in my purple bedroom, and I would cry. I wouldn't take a shower, I wouldn't brush my teeth, I wouldn't comb my hair, I didn't want to even go anywhere. I thought that I would never be happy again. Now let me tell you the most important part of my story. the most important part of my tragedy, the most important part of everything that I went through was who I became now. It's not all the times when I fell down. And it's not about you falling down. It's not about the storms that you go through. And we in Louisiana, y'all know most firsthand about storms. But you can come out of it. And let me tell you, when all the media cameras were gone, when all the church folks were gone, when all my family was gone, when all my friends was gone, I had nobody but myself. And at that particular time, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't believe that I was strong enough to be happy again. I didn't believe that I was strong enough to move forward and go to my next chapter. Because if you wrote a book just about Sybrina, you can't leave out chapter 5 where I lost my 17-year-old son to senseless gun violence. You have to talk about that because that's a part of who I am. And so a lot of times when everybody is gone and you have nobody, you have to focus on yourself. You, young people, have to focus on yourself. So when everybody was gone, I didn't know how to come back up. I didn't know how to bring myself back up. I wanted to get off the floor. I wanted to take a shower and brush my teeth. Lord knows I needed to. But I didn't know how to bring myself up from that depression stage, from the loneliness I was experiencing, from the sadness. I didn't know how to come back from it. The secret was a word. So I'm going to tell you about Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. And it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not unto your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. So even though I did not understand why my 17-year-old son was shot and killed, I believed and I trust in God. And God brought me to the next step. And that's all I had to do was take another step. So once I had the word and everybody is gone and I'm in my room by myself, I would recite Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. That was my word. That's the word I'm giving to you. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Read it. When you don't understand quite what's going on, read it. Because that allowed me to empower myself. When I didn't have my pastor in my ear, when I didn't have my aunt putting oil on my head, when I didn't have a whole group of people around it, surrounding me saying, be strong, you could do it. You have to empower yourself. You have to talk to yourself. You have to speak to yourself. You have to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I could do it. I could be great. I can overcome this. One of the things that I told myself, I would look in the mirror and I would tell myself, depression, you have no chance with me. It's so easy to go into a depressive state when you lose a child or you lose a family member. It's easy. And guess what? People understand. They understand why you're depressed. They understand why you don't want to go anywhere and do anything. They understand those things. So now I'm going to fast forward a minute, and I'm going to talk about a few things about what I'm doing now. I want you all to go to TrayvonMartinFoundation.org when you get a chance, not now. TrayvonMartinFoundation.org. And I might leave out something. But one of the things that we do every year in February, we have what we call is a peace walk. And Trayvon's birthday was February what? Anybody know? February what?
15.
No? Yell it out.
18.
Who said the 5th? Come here. Anybody know when my birthday is? February what? Go right over there. Where? February what? Come here. You. Come here. Right here in the front. You. I know I ain't cross-eyed. Yes, ma'am. Go right over there. They got something for you. He got something for you. Y'all give him a hand. She didn't guess it right, but she did. Trayvon's birthday is February 5th, and my birthday is February 16th. So every year, that's it. Get a picture. So every year, around February 5th, we celebrate Trayvon's birth and not his death. And so we do what we call as a peace walk. It's in Miami. You all are invited. It's usually on the website. I can't bring you there, but I can make sure you have a good time once you get there. So it's with a purpose. It's a short distance we walk to let our young people know they have a right to walk in peace without being followed, chased, profiled, murdered. And then we have what we call as a peace talk, where we bridge the gap between law enforcement and our young people. It's a lot of singing, it's a lot of dancing there, and we really enjoy ourselves. It's a celebration, but it's a celebration with a purpose. So we do that every year around Trayvon's birthday, and that's February what? 5th. We also have what's coming up next is the Circle of Mothers. That's when I bring mothers from all over the United States who have lost a child through senseless gun violence, such as myself. I've had Jordan Davis and Tamir Rice and Sandra Bland and Oscar Grant and all of big stories that you hear about on the news. I bring those mothers, and it's about healing, it's about empowerment, and it's about moving to their next chapter. Tracy has a circle of fathers where he brings men together who's lost a child, and they're mostly about strengthening the families with the fathers. We have a back-to-school event where we give away about 500 book bags, and we give the young people a pep talk before they go back to school. We do something with a youth summit where we talk to young people about subjects that they don't have a chance to talk about in school, like gun violence, like suicide, social media. We talk about social media. So we talk about all of those things that they don't get a chance to talk about in school. We also have an event that we do around Thanksgiving. We give away Thanksgiving baskets to the needy. We also partner with an organization that helps out for Christmas. So I'm kind of very busy doing a few things, a lot of speaking to universities, colleges, and I do some things with churches. I've had some good times, like in the White House when President Obama was there. I don't think I would go there now. We have been, Jay-Z and Beyonce are big supporters of the foundation. Jay-Z was on the documentary. He was the executive director on the documentary. And myself and some other mothers were a part of Beyonce's Lemonade video. So I've been quite busy. Also with the United Nations, the United States sent me to Geneva, Switzerland to be a spokesperson for the United States in reference to gun violence. But I'm sure I didn't say anything that was nice. But they sent me and my son. His name is Javaris Fulton, and I'm very proud of him. And Delta Sigma Theta. So, those my sisters over there, that's family. A lot of people always ask me, why did I pledge Delta? there were other opportunities for me. I have an aunt that's a Delta. She's been a Delta over 50-something years. And yes. And I looked at all the sororities that they had, and I just most connected with Deltas. I wanted to be connected to a strong body of women who were doing stuff in my community, and I'm not knocking anybody else's sorority. I'm just saying what was best for me, and it was Delta Sigma Theta, and I love you, ladies. So I brought 2 people with me. This young man that's got Trayvon Martin shirts on. He has right here in the red. He is from Baton Rouge, so he's from right down the street. He's an activist in Baton Rouge, but he actually speaks all over the place. And so that's Silky Slim. And I brought a family member with me as well. She works for the Trayvon Martin Foundation. I drag her along every now and then, but I love her to death. She was there from day one when I decided to go to Sanford and, speak. When I decided to be the voice for my son, she wants y'all to call her Penny, but I call her Suge. So y'all call her Auntie Suge or whatever. Just wave right here. Hello, right here. So finally, I just want to say to the young people to stay focused. So I'm going to tell you what helped me to stay focused. So when this initially happened, my mind and my brain and my heart and everything was all scrambled around. I couldn't just get my life together. I didn't know what direction my life was going in. So you, number one, have to decide what direction you want your life to go in. That's your first thing. Decide what you want to do with your life. And it should have nothing to do with anyone else. It should be about you and what's best for you and what you want to do for yourself. So you think about that. And once you think about that, see yourself as a train conductor. I'm the conductor of my train. My life is my train, and I'm the conductor. And my train is moving forward, never backwards. Your train should be moving forward and never backwards. Some people are going to get on your train. Some people are going to get off your train. I'm saying to you that you are going to lose some friends on your train. You're going to lose some family members on your train. But at the end of the day, you need to keep moving forward and stay focused. Because if you lose focus of what you're doing for yourself, it's called a distraction. Look what happened when I lost focus. I'm not paying attention to what my focus is because of a distraction. I want you to stay focused on what you need to do for yourself, regardless of who's on your train or who's off your train. You might lose some friends and family. That was their season. It's no longer their season. Believe me, I lived a long time. I might not look like it, but I've lived a long time. Don't worry about the people that get off your train. Only focus on the ones that's still on your train and always keep moving forward. God bless you, God keep you, and peace. Grambling State University!